What is up, Warshippers? SeaRaptor here, bringing you a first look at Tier 8 Russian tech tree battleship Vladivostok. Now, of course, if you're new to these videos, we are allowed to show you these on PTS. We cannot play them and show you the gameplay footage. We're only allowed to just dance around and import and show you the model and have a look around. So let's check it out. Starting at the top, 73,600 hit points. That is best in tier for Tier 8. That's pretty nice to see. She has lots of health to play with. Armor belt. She moves up a bit. Her predecessors both had 300mm belts. Hers is 370 here. And it's some proper casemate, 200mm right above that. She has this weird strake, this 200mm strake that goes up forward of her turrets. I'm not sure what's up here to protect, but, well, there it is. And she has a 32mm bow. Now that's nice because it means that essentially of the ships that she'll start seeing, only Musashi and Yamato can really fully overmatch her bow. The torpedo protection, 21% is not worst in tier, but very nearly so. North Carolina claims worst in tier at 19%, so we're not far ahead of that here. Again, Russian battleships so far have been very allergic to torpedoes, and Vladivostok is no exception. So we're at a tier now, at Tier 8, where 16-inch guns become a lot more common, and Vladivostok delivers in this department. Now, she does have a slightly slow reload there, 33 seconds. That's not quick. But these shells have quite a bit of punch. They hit just as hard as the U.S. Navy 16-inch shells of the same tier. The shell velocities are better than the American guns, and roughly analogous to those you'd find aboard a Magi and Key. I expect the ballistics and penetration of these guns to be pretty solid. All the Russian battleships have a 1.7 Sigma. The dispersion is, it's not the best around, but it's not the worst. And when these guns hit somebody, they're going to know it, right? They're going to feel it. She regresses a little bit from sign-up here at Tier 7. Her secondary battery is not as good. She comes in with some of these double 152mm turrets and these double 100mm ones. The 100mm ones have pretty quick reload, and I think are dual purpose in terms of AA. The 152mm ones, I'm not sure about, but, well, let's see. Are they in her AA suite? No, they aren't. So these are just surface defense only, and they have a pretty slow reload, but they're not bad. Again, 5 kilometers in range means you're probably not going to get a whole lot out of them unless you are in a really desperate situation. As we've been talking about on the other ships of the line, AA is difficult to gauge because the AA values we're using on 8.1 test right now are pre-hotfix, so we're having to kind of read the tea leaves and interpolate a little bit. If I'm extrapolating these numbers correctly compared to the changes that were made on live, her long-range aura is going to be pretty bad for this tier. Probably similar to Richelieu's, and her mid-range aura is going to be pretty average, right? Her AA overall is not going to be anything to write home about. She's not going to want to see enemy planes, right? That's not going to be something that Vladivostok is going to be excited to see. With a 29 knot top speed here, she's starting to fall behind the competition at Tier 8. It's a small thing, but she's going to have less tactical flexibility because it just means there are plenty of other ships, plenty of other battleships that are going to be able to project that power faster than she will because they just get her on the map quicker. Continuing the trend of the other ships in the line, she has a huge turning circle, but a very quick rudder shift. So again, nothing abnormal there compared to the other ships that we've seen so far. Concealment-wise, well, she has about the same surface detection as Massachusetts, but she's much easier to spot from the air than the American battleships are. This is not something she wants to see, given how difficult it's going to be for her to fend off enemy planes. Again, consumables, we're looking at DCP and regular heal. These are the same heals that most every battleship and get in the game get, essentially, if you're not American or British. In this last slot, she gets a choice between fighter. She does have aircraft handling capabilities here on the stern. She has a catapult. But she also has access to a new consumable that we have not seen before. This is a brand new thing for the Russian battleships. It says surveillance radar, but if you'll note, it can only detect battleships and aircraft carriers out to 15 kilometers. This is kind of a really odd, bizarre thing, right? So this is going to be beneficial, obviously, in storms or times of bad weather, or against people who have maybe built their ship for a bunch of stealth, and you can catch them when they weren't expecting it. Carriers, definitely might be useful against carriers that you suspect are in that particular range, but are just stealthy enough to hide from. It's a very odd consumable. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, but we're going to see more of this as we go up the line, so we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Take it as a complete package. Vladivostok seems pretty balanced for her tier, right? She's vulnerable to torpedoes and aircraft, but has a nice suite of armor and a pretty good mix of tools to work over enemy battleships and heavy cruisers as needed. Positioning her initially, I think, is going to be key because she's just not as good as repositioning as her German, French, and Japanese counterparts are because of that sub-30 knot speed. All right, guys, that's it for Vladivostok. Stay around. We're going to have some Tier 9, Tier 10 videos up very shortly. And, of course, if you haven't watched them yet, Tier 6 and Tier 7 are available. Thanks a lot.